Hi everyone, welcome to the world of sociology. A warm good morning to all of you. In the last session we were discussing about Emile Durkheim, and the Durkheimian perspective of suicide came under the limelight. I hope you did follow and did enjoy my sessions on the concept of suicide as discussed by Emile Durkheim, and we already covered the 4 major types of suicide as discussed by Durkheim. To make a fast recap, for your convenience I am going for a fast recap. We did cover the Durkheimian life history, the concept of social solidarity, which is divided into 2, that is mechanical and organic solidarity, as explained by Emile Durkheim. Durkheim's favorite theoretical contribution, that is his theory of suicide, which has been divided into 4 major types of suicide, which have been delivered with examples, and we also developed a snapshot of the Durkheimian theory and to which branch of sociological theory that Durkheim belonged to as an academician. Now we will be dealing with a new theorist. As we are currently dealing with sociological theory, we would be entering into a new phase of discussion, and we will be dealing with the new theoretical perspective of another social thinker who later turned to be a sociologist, and that is Karl Marx. And today we will be discussing with the Marxian perspective and the Marxian contribution to the domain of sociological theory. Marx is perhaps a celebrated figure, not only in the field of sociology, but in the field of social theorizing, and he is also considered to be one of the most prominently discussed, one of the most widely engaged academician who contributed enormously to the development of the 18th century and the 19th century social thought, and who also continues to contribute in one or other form as a theoretician to the domain of sociology as well as to the arena of politics. Marxian contribution in the cultural sphere, in the social sphere, and in the political sphere cannot be ever undermined. Though he has been criticized far and wide, and the Marxian theory has been subject to criticism on many counts, from the sociological point of view, he is regarded as a sociologist. When raised with the question, when encountered with the question that whether you are a sociologist, Marx used to deny that very idea. From an idiosyncratic point of view, Marx used to say that I am not a sociologist, I am just a political thinker. But the contributions of Karl Marx rightly belong to the domain of sociology, and many academicians and many theoreticians treat Karl Marx to be one of the founding fathers of sociology. How Marxian theory became relevant from the sociological point of view, especially when Marx is treated to be a political thinker? This is a very serious question. Answer is very simple, but the answer is very important too, that the Marxian theory and its relevance lies in the point that as a sociologist, from a sociological point of view, he attempted to understand the society and the way social relations have been framed. It is here that we categorize, we classify Marx into a conflict theorist. So today I will be giving you a general introduction into conflict perspective, and later on we shall move into the Marxian theory. What is conflict perspective? And actually what is conflict? We know very well that sociology has been dominated by a functionalist perspective, and functionalism was the dominant school in sociology. We will be explaining what is functionalism, and in later sessions I will be dealing with that. But functionalism basically refers to the functional arrangement of society, which is divided into different structurally interrelated parts, and each element of the society contributes to make it a functional whole. Each element of the society is playing a vital role, is playing a thematic role in making the society a functional totality. This is where functionalism lies. Marx actually went for a repudiation of functionalism, and other than Karl Marx, there are many other conflict theorists. We cannot ever say that conflict theory is the sole contribution of Karl Marx, but rather many people have contributed to the development of conflict perspective in sociology, like Ralph Dahrendorf, C. Wright Mills, the very prominent Louis Althusser, and of course Karl Marx. All of them together had entered into a new phase, and that is the conflictual phase of sociology. They argued that society is not a perfectly coordinated structure interrelated by a perfectly interacting set of structural elements. They identified that there is nebulousness and there is imperfection and there is a certain degree of unregulated characteristics that exist within the society, and the society is an ever-changing reality. Functionalism considered society to be a static entity where each element performing its respective function and the social organism shall live. But when we come to the conflict perspective, they perceived society to be more of a dynamic entity where the factor, the element and the aspect of change is involved, and that changeability itself would eventually create conflict in the society. And conflict theorists argued that within every society, though primarily that society appear, though latently that society appear to be in perfect harmony, it is not so internally. It is not so within that social system. There are a number of elements of disharmony, and there are a number of elements of imperfection, and there are a number of instances where it is not properly coordinated. So disharmony, lack of proper coordination, and a certain degree of struggle, which we will be discussing in the next session, exist within every society, and it is here that conflict theory or conflict perspective becomes all the more relevant. Thank you.